Cheers, Canadian wine lovers. We're on day 6 of tasting a different Canadian wine every day until we get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button if you're already on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook or Instagram, we love it if you head over to YouTube and hit subscribe. Carl Boucher, what are we tasting today?
Woo! Wine lovers, we are tasting today Hillside Estate Dickinson Vineyard Merlot, and this is a 2016 vintage. So we got a 10-year-old Merlot from the Naramata Bench, one of my very favorite appellations in the Okanagan Valley, British Columbia. So this is a really exciting episode today. So yeah, Mira Boucher, let's talk Merlot.
2016 key facts about Merlot in Canada. Okay. So first of all, big myth that you can't age Canadian reds. If you think that, you've got to try a wine like this because you totally can. They age beautifully, but you got to know where to look. Like with any wine region, any world-class wine region, you got to know where to look. Hillside's been making wine since 1989, I believe. They were one of the first 5 commercial wineries, farm gate wineries.
So they were part of that little consortium to when they went to the government to change the legislation so winery can start selling wine, so can start pouring wine to wine traveler and open a tasting room and sell wine on site. They were part of the very first people to do that. So Vera was. Look at that. Look at that beauty.
That's a nice well-aged Merlot. So 10 years of age on that bad boy. And so one of the big secrets about Merlot in BC especially is that the Naramata Bench right near Penticton is like a sleeper for Merlot. They make some phenomenal Merlots on the Naramata Bench. And a lot of people don't know this. Like, we're locals here, and many of the locals don't know this. But the Merlot on the Naramata Bench can be very ageable, very world-class. And I guess we're about to find out, aren't we? Because that's a 2016. It's a 10-year-old bad boy right there.
Well, we sure. And I'd say, like you just mentioned it absolutely perfectly, Mira. Merlot on the Naramata Bench is one of the most underrated grape of the central Okanagan. In people's mind, Merlot, Cap Sauv, Cap Franc, Malbec all belong to the South Okanagan. Right? That's the perception on there. You want a big, bold Bordeaux varietal, you look for the South Okanagan, Oliver, Osoyoos, especially the Golden Mile or the Black Sage Bench. But I have something for you. Merlot from the Naramata Bench is, to my opinion, the very best Merlot in Canada. There's the Four-Mile Creek appellation. In Niagara-on-the-Lake, there's also maybe the Lake Shore appellation. Niagara Lake Shore makes outstanding Merlot. Lake Erie North Shore maybe also. But the Naramata Bench produce absolutely phenomenal Merlot, and often more in elegance, more in subtlety. And they're a beautiful complexity from the Merlot in the Okanagan. I have a ton of examples about that. And this Hillside Estate has 3 single vineyard Merlot in their top tier wine portfolio: the Goja, the Hidden Valley, and the Dickinson Vineyard. These are all single vineyard Merlots, and this, I can't wait. So now I'm going to get my nose in there because I can smell it from here. I can smell the florality. I can smell the tobacco. I can smell the ripe peach, the ripe plum, ripe plum, dark cherry, dark currant. There's savoriness in there, and just a little bit of the secondary, like the secondary and tertiary aromas are starting, just starting to come around. I guess I disappeared. Ha ha! Sorry about that. The Merlot smells so good that I disappeared. It makes me disappear.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was saying to Tracy has a great question. Does this episode replace Wine Wednesday? No, because we have so much wine, Canadian wine to open. So we're talking about this 2016 Merlot from Hillside Vineyard on the Naramata Bench. But we'll be back on at 5 for our usual Wine Wednesday, tasting Bellaterra wines all the way from Ontario, from Niagara. So there's so many Canadian wines, you guys, that we could be live every hour of every day. But
Oh my God.
For now, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please do. We'll go on every night until we get 1,000 subscribers, and then we'll do something else kind of crazy, you know. So don't let that deter you from subscribing. Some guy,
Okay.
Christian, our friend Christian's like, no, keep it going. Don't ever get it past. Just get it to like $9.99 so they can keep going.
Yeah, and you know what? We'll get going. We'll keep going. That's what I told you just before the show, right? You say, "Oh, if we get the 1,000 by then," I said, "I think we should keep going." You know what?
Yeah,
because I freaking love it.
We'll get to 10,000 next, 100,000. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, you guys. So we're tasting a different Canadian wine every night till we get to 1,000 subs. It's going to be a lot of fun. This 2016 Merlot from the Naramata Bench. Let me just flash up the map real quick. So
before we talk about Hillside Estates at its home, okay, we need to talk about that wine. But you go ahead. Show us the map. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
All I was trying to say was in the middle of the Okanagan, okay? So when you go down south in the Okanagan, you get to a Soyuz near the border there. It's a real desert. It's hot. That's where people expect you to get Merlot from because you can ripen Cap Sauv, Petit Verdot down there, no problem. In the middle, it's a lot more temperate, and that's where the Naramata Bench is. And so that's why with this Merlot, you do get the ripeness, but you also get like this elegance and the acidity that gives it a lot more aging potential, I think, than even further south.
You're bang on.
Carl's looking happy right now with that first taste.
We're on a daily YouTube, so I can't start swearing like we do in our private, on our Wine Wednesday. But holy shit!
Why not? Why
holy
not?
Fuck. Okay, that is.
There you go.
You know. Okay. Fuck, that's good. Whoa. I'm thinking of Daryl right now. I'm thinking of all of our Merlot lovers across Canada from the club. And
I'm coming to get some. I'm coming to get. Don't drink it all. I'm coming back.
I need to get my hand on more of that. Okay, this is because this is a 10-year-old Merlot to the day. Like this is absolutely 10-year-old this year. Wow! Oh my god! Oh my god! And I did pour a glass. So Mira, I'm just starting to. It's funny. We've been tasting wine together for like over 2,000 every year. Okay, we're tasting that. She has a specific profile. She loves older wines. She loves smooth wines. She loves wines with like elegance. She loves, and I like wine a little bit more in their youth. I like my wine feisty. I like the tannin. I like wine. I like to rate wines when they come out. That's what I do, right? People send me samples. So with this, Mira, I have to say, I'm jumping on board of your train, okay? I want to spot on your wagon, on your train of well-aged wine. Jesus, Mary, that 10-year-old, 10 years give that Merlot so much. Oh, I mean, we've tasted some spectacular wine this year. Already, it's only the beginning of March. We've tasted some incredible wines, like, I mean, the Iconoclast, 95-point caps. So we're tasting some amazing stuff. This, holy shit. And did you see there's still some tannin happening on the back end? I mean, this is not the end of that wine. It's funny. This is in its prime window of drinkability. Wow, outstanding. Let me give you a little bit more details here, okay? So this is from the Dickinson Vineyard. So what we call the below the road on the Naramata Bench. There's a clear definition where the Naramata Road Below the road, this is a little bit more shale, a little bit more clay type of terroir because it used to be underwater. That used to be where the lake 10,000 years ago used to sit, okay? Above the road is more rocky. It's more pebble, more rocks, because the moraine, when the glacier move everything away, it drops behind the moraine of rocks and debris from the glacier. Very clear terroir between both. This is a big boy. This is rich. This is bold. If you blind taste me on that, I might tempt to go to the South Okanagan almost, because there's that boldness, that richness. I mean, this is 20 months of aging. It is 20%, 25% new oak, but 10 years down, 10 years in now into his aging process, the oak profile have completely melted into the wine. The structure is still beautiful. The acid's still right up there. I mean, now this one is just entering. I'd probably have been in its prime for a couple of years, but it still have a lot to go. I wouldn't be surprised if in 10 years, this wine's still good. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I like the savoriness on the nose. I really, really like that aspect. Savory tobacco cedar and rich ripe plum. Mm. Oh, yeah. And that dark chocolate on the palate, the spice are evolving on the back.
It's very good. It's still so grippy. Like, I feel like it's still a baby.
Well, I mean, wow. This is a beautiful, beautiful. So these vines were planted in 06. So we're talking 20-year-old vines. They were 10 years old, not right now. So, but they were 10 years old. So I see like the feistiness, right? Why there's so much tension. They're coming from a 10-year-old vine. So vines in their prime, young prime, and 14 points. Can you believe that? If I said it's 14.7% alcohol, it doesn't show. Well, bless ya. So,
Thank you. Yeah,
oh,
I can tell it's a higher alcohol. It's a big boy. It's definitely a bigger boy, but so beautiful on the nose and so expressive on the palate.
I mean, we need to talk about the Okanagan Lake, right? The biggest body of water in the entire region. And that vineyard, it's perched right above the cliff. So that moderates the temperature. There's no too hot. There's no too cold. In cooler winter, the lake protect from the frost. In the very hot weather during the summer, during the heat spike, it protects against the too hot because it temperates, right? So right there, the lake is have an incredible impact on these vineyards perched right above it. So wow, 2016 vintage, a wonderful vintage in the Okanagan. 15 was really hot, so great for bold wine. But 16 is a little bit like 2020, very well balanced, and 16 was fantastic for all grape varietals, and Merlot is absolutely shining in this. Oh, darn that I like the nose. Wonderful. So I did taste that wine before. I tasted before. We featured that wine in our feature that we did many years ago with Hillside. I don't know. I can't remember. I think I gave that wine 92 plus points, if I remember correctly. But it's been a long time, so I can't really guarantee that. This is more around the 94 at this stage. Wow. Holy smokes.
Check our archive. So It is free to join Carl's Wine Club. For those of you that don't know, first step, subscribe on YouTube, because we're going to do this every night till we get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So we love if you subscribe. Second step, you can join Carl's Wine Club for free. And we send out Carl's tasting notes every week, different winery discoveries, winemaker interviews. And our collector members who upgrade from the free membership to get a ton of different perks, like free shipping, like member pricing on wines, like perks with events that we do. Our collector members also have access to our tasting notes archive. So that's what I'm going to check right now to see if we tasted this wine before and what score we gave it, or that Carl gave it.
Well, you can say we. You can say we. Yeah, that's
so
the rim.
look like. Okay, it looks like we did taste it at some point. Let me just see if we have full notes or just a score or what. It was on pre-release. This wine was a pre-release when we featured in Carl's Wine Club, probably in 2020. At that time, the price was only $40 taxed in.
Wow.
It's gone up. And at that time, we have your full notes. You tasted it August of 2022, Carl. It was a pre-release. And you gave it, you say right now it's worth how much to you?
It's worth 94 points. It's worth 94 points.
I agree. It's a big boy. It's aged beautifully. So when you tasted it as a pre-release, when the winery said it's not really ready to be released yet, and Carl was like, please let me have it, please. So at that time, you gave it 92 points. You said, a big and rich Merlot showing muscle and power. The long 16 growing season brings terrific length and complexity from a fantastic site with vibrant 10-year-old vines. Like you said, now they're 20 years old, so I can't imagine how much better those grapes are producing nowadays. You described the nose, the palate, and a superb finish evolving in the right direction. A very nice treat at a very affordable price at that time. I'm sure it's gone up since then, because I'm sure this wine is no longer available anywhere. But that's the beauty of collecting wines, isn't it?
Wow. I will have, so there's a few things here. We've been building relationships across the valley for many years now. Kathy Malone is one of the veteran winemaker in the Okanagan. She's been on the Naramata Bench for a long time. She's an amazing person. I really, really like her body of work. And maybe there's a couple cases of that sitting in their cellar, and maybe we can see what we can do. But this wine is absolutely stunning. I mean, this is the last 4 days, we've been tasting some incredible wines. And that has to be right there at the top. So let's talk about Kathy a little bit. Let's talk about Hillside. I mean, Hillside started in 89. I think the vineyard was planted in 84. The home vineyard. I mean, they were one of the very first on the Naramata Bench. Now the Naramata Bench has over 40 or 45 wineries on that couple kilometer span where they're located. Okay, so let that sit. There's around 250 wineries in the Okanagan, I think. So, and there's 45 on the Naramata Bench. This is the most densely populated in terms of winery, in terms of a sub-wine region. There's a reason for that, right? Because it's probably the most beautiful views that you will find in the Okanagan. The grape variety, the grapes, you can grow pretty much anything on the Naramata Bench. There are so much diversity that you can grow, and this is like one of the very prime spots for viticulture. So Vera she immigrated from Czechoslovakia back then to Canada, and her husband, that you can pronounce the name much better than I can.
So
Lubomir.
Bahomir. was her husband's name, Baromir, and the last name I think is pronounced Klokoka.
There you go.
But yeah, they were pioneers, like big time pioneers. I mean, they said, yes, we can grow wine, grow grapes for wine on the Naramata Bench. At that time, there were 2 or 3 others, Lang Vineyards, the Nickel family,
Yeah.
maybe a couple,
That
1 or 2 more.
That's it. That's it. I think that's what it was at the beginning. And Vera, and she planted Moscato Tonel from the old country, which is one
Which
of our
I
house
love
favorites.
because my family's from Romania. I grew up in Romania, and Muscat Otonel is very popular in Romania. It's a beautiful aromatic white grape. And there's maybe only 2 or 3 wineries making Muscat Otonel in Canada. And as far as I can tell, Hillside makes the absolute highest rated version year in, year out. They have the old vines for the Muscat Otonel. It's a deliciously crisp, refreshing version of it with a touch
Aromatic.
of aromatics and sweetness. And it's just beautiful. Like, it's a gorgeous wine, great price point. People, like, we have members that order it every year by the case full, and it's a great wine.
Absolutely. So, yeah, so they build their portfolio around Muscat Tonel, Pinot Gris, they have Gamay also, but also source some single vineyard, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon as well. They have their house Cabernet Franc. And they also do a small batch Malbec, I believe, but they have a beautiful portfolio. Their restaurant, the Bistro at Hillside, is absolutely spectacular as well. I mean, all around, one of the top winemaker in BC, one of the top restaurant winery in BC, one of a very top portfolio in BC. I mean, what can you ask, right? I think it's a very underrated, and the architecture of the winery, it's pretty darn cool as well. Yeah, they got everything there going on.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So we just opened this 2016 Merlot from the Naramata Bench, BC, and we tasted it on release, and here we are tasting it 4 years later. So Carl Boucher, in a nutshell, how well did this wine age?
In a nutshell, this wine has aged perfectly. Pinpoint what you can expect from a wine from a region like the Naramata Bench, because the acidity level have kept everything lifted. The acid is bright. The oak has integrated perfectly. The wine is not too far past where it should be on his aging curve. No, I would say it's trailing a little bit in the sense that it's aging very slowly. This is 2016. We're in 2026. 10 years old. If you blind taste me on that, I won't guess 10-year-old wine. I will be more tempted to guess 6-year-old wine. There's absolutely no orange rim on that. It's still beautiful purple. There is no orange, orangey brown brickle. That's still shining in its prime. So when I say this wine can age another 10 years, I have no doubt about that very easily. There's no tertiary aromas, flavors who have popped up or yet. It's still on the primary fruit and a little bit of secondary fruits. I mean, this is very, very impressive. Mira, you know how much I appreciate a wine with texture. To me, it's always a sign of premium wine. It's always a sign of that we're hitting the top 5% when I got a wine with a wonderful texture.
Absolutely.
I think that's where that wine has improved the most since I tasted it in 2022, 4 years ago. This wine has developed that silky texture, who's moving from a good wine to a great wine. Yes, the complexity has evolved, the length, the oak has moved, has stretched throughout the whole structure. But the texture, that's where it made the difference. And this is spectacular now. Wow.
Absolutely. Can I tell you something funny? So when we tasted this as a pre-release in 2022, it was already 2 years old. And you said the drinking window is now until 2026, We are now in 2026. I think it's pretty clear that you just said it could go another 10 years. So amazing surprises that we get with Canadian wine, I think.
I was pretty wrong back then. I'll tell you one thing. Holy smokes. I would say now window of drinkability, it's opening now. That's my call today. This is what's happening. That's what we discovered by opening that 2016 wines. The window of drinkability starting now. For the next 5 to 6 years, that's where you're going to get the most out of that little jewel of the Naramata Bench. This is something else. Holy smokes. It drinks at 94 points right now.
Absolutely.
Love it. Love the texture, the finish, the complexity, and all of it. And I was like, this is undoubtedly, like this, there's no doubt it's Merlot. It tastes like Merlot. It smells like Merlot. This is so varietal. They got all the varietal characteristic that you're looking for. An absolute beauty.
All right. It sure is. So, guys, we are going to be back in 20 minutes for Wine Wednesday, starting at 5 Pacific. We do that every Wine Wednesday. We haven't missed a Wine Wednesday since we started the club in 2020. So we're not about to start now. And we have, 5 or 6 Bellaterra wines open from Niagara to talk about. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And before we let you guys go, I also want to mention, we talked about the Naramata Bench. We do a day of touring called our signature experience on the Naramata Bench. We do it once a year, maybe twice. So this year it's on August 1st. It's almost sold out. We pick you up from where you're staying. You don't have to worry about transportation all day. We go to at least 3 wineries where it's not a typical tasting. Okay, what we do, we winemaker, we do barrel tastings. We taste wines that are not on the usual wine tasting list. We get a chef that we've partnered with who makes us a lunch in the vineyard and a dinner paired with a ton of Canadian wines by the lake across from the Naramata Bench at our place here right on the lake. And so it is a spectacular day. That's August 1st. There's 4 spots left. So if you're watching this and you're hearing about this, get in touch, join the club. It's listed on the top of our website under the signature experiences. We'd love to have you with us to tour the Naramata Bench. We also do a few other wine regions.
In a nutshell, it's like entering in the life of a winemaker 3 times in the same day. That's what it is, because you're going to meet the people who make the wines, and you're going to hear the family stories about around the winery. That is an experience that you don't get anywhere else. And why don't we do more than 3 wineries during a day?
The way we do it, you wouldn't have time. You would need 16 hours in a day to do more. So we don't just do the quick in and out tourist tastings, right? It's a full experience. You get to really get to know the winery, the site. This is for terroir lovers. If you love wine, you are going to feel like this is a bucket list experience to go on a touring day like this. It is truly special. So for instance, if we were to stop at Hillside, we'd want to go walk the vines at the Dickinson Vineyard ourselves, taste that Merlot with maybe a new release or a tank sample or a barrel sample here. So thanks, Robert. Yes, we're growing to 1,000 subscribers. So I hope you subscribe. Anyone who's stopping by, hit that subscribe button. Help us get to our first 1,000 subscribers on here so we can share more Canadian wine joy with all of you, all our discoveries. So that's about the signature experiences. Do join us this summer. If you're coming to BC, it is the best way to get to know BC wine, to these signature experiences with us. And we are meeting with more people who might come to Burgundy with us. Members are joining us June 4th to 11th in Burgundy. We're bringing Canadian wine, and we're tasting
That's the twist on the trip. We're bringing Canadian wines with us in the old world, in the homeland of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. We're bringing our best with us, so that'll be cool. And yay, I mean, keep tuning in at 4 o'clock every day, because we're going to crack some of the very, very best Canadian wines on a daily basis. And you guys can be part of our Canadian wine journey And yeah, jump in with us. Our group is pretty fun, and we're looking forward to having you on board with us. Canadian wines are absolutely world class, and it's time to discover with this girl, Mira Boucher.
And Carl Boucher. So we'll see you guys back in 20 minutes for our usual Wine Wednesday. We're also on with members tomorrow night, meeting with the winemaker, Fred DeProfio from Bellaterra Vineyards.
And managing partner,
that is a Zoom tasting.
And managing partner, Marcel Morgenstern. Both of them are going to join us for the evening tomorrow.
Well, cheers, Canadian wine lovers. Here's to some amazing 10-year-old Naramata Bench Merlot. Thanks for stopping by. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube, please. Help us get to 1,000 followers, subscribers. Cheers.